Hey everybody, it's Ed Connerke. Welcome back to Connerke's Money Corner. Since my last Connerke's Money Corner, the question has come up, as it always does. In the last Connerke's Money Corner video that I did for you, I shared with you the 4 things that you need to be doing with your discretionary money and the specific order that you need to be doing them, with retirement savings being number 1, paying off bad debt being number 2, creating a rainy day fund being number 3, and then number 4, investing for future goals. Well, the question undoubtedly comes up is, where does saving for my child's college education play into that? And here's the answer. If it comes to a choice on step 1, where push comes to shove and you have to make a decision between saving for your retirement or saving for your child, you have to choose retirement. Yes, this surprises a lot of people. Retirement is the first thing you need to be saving for, and until you save the maximum for your retirement, you should not be worrying about your child's college education. Now, in a perfect world, every financial advisor would tell you, we want you to do both. But if you had to choose one, choose retirement first. And this is something that most people struggle with. Obviously, we love our child and we want to do what's best for them and get them off to the best possible start that we can ever get them. So most people will answer college. And it is based on what our parents did for us 20, 30, 40 years ago, that they paid for our college. And now we feel obligated to pay for our child's college. But what we have to understand is that college decisions of 30 and 40 years ago are completely different on a financial perspective today because of the exorbitant costs of college as it's ballooned over the last 20 to 30 years. It is not the same financial decision of when your parents paid and sent for your college 30 years ago. So really important to understand, we need to take a new approach and a new look at this. So why do we say retirement first? Simple. Because there is no such thing as being able to save for retirement while you're in retirement. Yes, you have to pre-fund your retirement. You have to have that retirement money ready for you when you retire. And there's no such thing as a retirement loan. You can't go out and get a retirement loan. And there's no such thing as that. Now, when it comes to the child's college decision, there are many options. Obviously, one are student loans. Now, before you freak out about student loans, and yes, we want to avoid student loans because we see so many students going into huge debt and not seeing that translate to a much higher paid job. What we have to understand with student loans, though, is that the child has a 40-year working career to pay back those student loans. You don't have that when you get into retirement. So the child has time to pay back that debt. If you didn't save for retirement, when you get into retirement, you don't have time to retire and the money to do so. Now, I also think this beckons to say we have to treat college as an investment. Today is totally different than 30 years ago. And like any investment, we have to look at how much do we invest and what's our return on that investment. If you're going to make the same amount of money in a job going to a $50,000 university versus a $20,000 university, you have to choose the $20,000 unless you have the money, and therefore we don't have to be watching this video if you've got all that money saved up for it. Now, the other thing I think is the future of college education is changing, that now budgeting is very important. Where now, rather than just sending your kid off to a 4-year college, we're seeing so many more parents deciding to send the child to a local community college for 2 years and then finishing up at a 4-year university the last 2 years to cut your costs in more than half. Now, I also believe that when you're looking at college and a child going to college, there's other options that are out there today. I don't know if you realize this, but in 2017, earlier this year, Starbucks has came out and announced that full-time and part-time baristas can have their college paid for through a program that Starbucks has in conjunction with Arizona State University, where they can pay for their college education and take college online with ASU. Now, I think the future of college also will be online, as we're seeing schools like Texas, LSU, Georgia Tech going out and investing heavily into online education, where you can get a master's degree at Georgia Tech for $7,000 online. So there's ways that if we didn't save for the child's college that we can become really smart in doing this. We also know several college students that are taking advantage of the ROTC program and having all their college paid for them. So be smart on this. Understand that the 4-year decision of paying all that money and having all that money put aside for your child's college education has to change. That you now have to look at your own situation first and start saving for your retirement because nobody else is going to do that. And as I like to tease, as we talk to clients, and I've mentioned to my children before, is that we've got to become smart with this college decision, because the day and age of them going out and choosing any college and paying all this money for it will be the day that, as I tell my kids, you can go to any school you want, but if you go to a really expensive school, be prepared for your mother and I to move in with you, your spouse, and your children as we live in that home in retirement because we're broke. So we have the obligation, if you want to talk about obligation, to do what's right to make sure that we're self-sufficient in retirement, that we've got plenty of money so we're not a burden on our children. And that, again, feeds back to saying, save for your retirement first before you worry about your child's college education. Hope this has been a great Connor Key's Corner. More questions on this, feel free to comment. And again, let me know if you have topics you want me to cover on Connor Key's Money Corner. Hope you enjoyed this Connor Key's Money Corner.